We are shifting really fast now. Do you feel it? I am called to share clues I have noticed lately. These clues are subtle. Many are odd and unexpected and may have happened without us noticing. Many more clues are just waiting to be discovered. Reality is getting exciting to watch. One issue is that in most ancient cycles, we have retained some memory of nearly all of humanity dropping their bodies either consciously or through some catastrophe like the Great Flood. We have been feeling this old trauma reverberating through the earth quite extensively now and was brought back to life in early 2020. This triggered an uptick in anxiety. Shifts are also happening throughout our galaxy. In the past, a few survivors from other worlds came through wormholes in space to arrive here on Earth. They anchored bits of their memory in standing stones, temples, pyramids, artifacts, etc. This is why I travel. By the way, there will be no cataclysm on Earth this time around. We decided to shift in another way. But the world will get pretty dusty as we do this remodel. Whether we notice these clues or not, the shift is already happening on the spaceship Mother Earth. But it is sure fun to notice that all we have prepared for is finally beginning to take shape around us. We took on a long slog of a job. But it is starting to pay off. Magic is returning. I began to notice more significant shifts in our consciousness and physicality since the solar eclipse on April 8, 2024, which rebooted us at a very core level. And we anchored again with the epic aurora borealis displays triggered by massive extended magnetic storms of May 10 to 12, 2024. An interesting side note from Space Weather, who posted that rocks and soil were electrified during the recent epic magnetic storm. Strong electrical currents surged through rocks and soil during the biggest geomagnetic storm in decades. The biggest voltages along the U.S. eastern seaboard and in the Midwest were as much as 10,000 times normal. Before I get into the things I've noticed, I must also say that we should not fear the sun. Please don't. If we pull our energy away from the sun will only need to send stronger pulses to Earth. The sun is working to wake us up. We are reaching the solar maximum in an 11-year solar cycle. But as we enter this solar maximum, we have also arrived in a new cycle of time with newly upgraded laws of nature. So, our relationship with the sun is changing and upgrading. In a sense, Earth, humanity, and all living things are one giant solar panel. We need the sun. If we flow with the sun's energy, the sun won't have to react so strongly. It's time for us to wake up. Science, geology, astronomy, and biology have been scrubbing away the knowledge that the universe is pure spirit and potential. Science can only prove theories and evidence through physical matter. They cannot test spirit or the presence of God. The problem is that all matter is from the past, and we are not living there anymore. We are beginning to live in the present. The universe is living, conscious, and also in the present. The ancient ones knew this long before humanity degraded into fear, separation, and superstition. Is life here on Earth fragile? For sure, it is. But we will lose every time if we only use knowledge science to protect ourselves. When we ignore the living spirit of the universe, we will only manifest more suffering. When the Earth's patterns change, they also change throughout the galaxy. Everything is connected. Even science, with all its limitations, has mapped some of the magnetic shifts and accelerating weather patterns on other planets. Everything is changing just as expected by the ancient ones. We have entered a new cycle with new base codes of nature that have been upgraded for our location in the universe. So here are some of the clues I have been noticing. Many of us are not being negatively affected by solar flares and magnetic storms in the usual way, as we have experienced in the past. I began to notice this after the solar eclipse in April. Are we finally coming into resonance with the sun? I expect so. People are feeling a building pressure with no external stimuli to trigger such pressure. I'm sure something is building out in the world that will change everything. Other currently experienced symptoms have been blood pressure wobbles, very active dreams, not sleeping well, heightened body aches and neck and shoulder tightness, and a rise in anxiety. Our body will respond to undercurrents. I feel that most of what is shifting in the world is under the radar at the moment, but it won't be hidden for much longer. Many feel easily overwhelmed and like quitting all they are doing. We are also experiencing deep waves of identity crises and not knowing where we belong or what we are to do next. We are having a major internal shift, not an external one. We are blooming into so much more than we ever expected to be. The universe is alive within us, and we are beginning to access this in new, profound ways. We have everything we need. The new reality is forming in the material world right before us. In the past, we have been programmed to see through our lineages and the programs we are emerging out of. This wisdom has brought us this far. But now, I encourage all to live in a space where we expect the unexpected and ask to see beyond the veil of our programming. The most exciting thing I'm noticing is many of us are beginning to feel like our past is not real anymore. Our memories are beginning to feel like an old dream or echo. We still have memories of events in the past, but there is less and less of a connection to those events, people, and places. This doesn't mean we are losing connection with our loved ones, but maybe our relationship with them is changing into a healthier connection. In the past, much of humanity confused love with trauma bonds. When this trauma heals within us, we feel the relationship has become detached, although sometimes this is true. We all are making micro choices that send us off in new directions. Current changes are coming as subtle undercurrents. We are shifting in stages to maintain our bodies. We begin to see this when life does not work as expected. The old repeating cyclic foundation of building the past is being upgraded to living and creating from the present now. Our previous expectations get in the way of our progress. When we feel upset at something not going as planned, we need to ask ourselves what illusions we are holding onto in our minds that are blinding us to the reality already in our hearts. We are moving beyond building a life. We are moving into creating a life based on how we want to feel and not by what we want. We will do this utilizing the limitless creative potential of the great unknown. It doesn't matter what the outer reality manifests for us. The only thing that matters is how it makes us feel. I hope this makes sense. We may not notice all the clues preparing all around us, but this is okay. We cannot mess this up. We will find ourselves naturally shifting directions by feeling into the experiences. We will find ourselves letting go of things we might have once loved and moving in directions we didn't plan for. We certainly feel perplexed as we shift from forcing things to happen to attracting them to us by knowing how we want to feel. How do you want to feel in your life? We will continue to feel more and more peace as we work from the creative potential of the great unknown. This will become very easy once we surrender to the universe's natural living presence, and that presence has always been within us. Sending everyone much love and appreciation for all that you add to this amazing time. Aluna Joy.